Welcome to the dumbest podcast on your desk. I am Clayton Kegg, and this week is a little different for two things. One, I am not currently in our studio, and two, there is no Manny McDoucherson this week. So you're just gonna have to sit back and get kegerated by me. And you know what? Just because Manny's not here to stop this, yeah, I deserve that. Before I get started, this past week, as of this recording, we've had some celebrity deaths I wanted to touch base on. One of them was Malcolm Jamal Warner, who tragically drowned while on vacation with his family. Very sad situation. Another one was Chuck Mangione, I guess popular jazz musician. I mean, I know who he is, but I've really never listened to his music. But, you know. And the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne, has also passed away. There goes some of my childhood, and speaking of which, another megastar, Terry Bollea, or Bollea? Yeah, I think it's Bollea. Otherwise known as the immortal Hulk Hogan, has also tragically died this week. And another piece of my childhood is gone with that death as well. From the wow, from the dumbest podcast on your desk, we send our condolences to all of their families. Not that you'll ever hear this show, but there it is anyways. And let's get into some headlines now. Mind blown. We got some headlines. And speaking of Hulk Hogan, this one comes from Newsbreak webisjericho.com, written by James. Eric Bischoff confirms whether RAF will continue without Hulk Hogan. 3 months ago, Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff announced they'd partnered with MMA coach Izzy Martinez to launch a new company called Real American Freestyle. Thanks to Hulk Hogan's involvement, the plan was to take amateur wrestling and jazz it up with a pro wrestling flair. Possibly not Ric Flair, though, but some flair. Yet, after Hogan passed away, many fans have questioned whether the project would continue, especially as ticket sales have been poor. However, Bischoff has now taken to social media to confirm that RAF is still happening and added a brother to pay tribute to his deceased friend and business partner. This isn't the first attempt someone has made to take amateur wrestling and give it a pro wrestling twist in the United States, with Real Pro Wrestling being the best known example. Yet, despite the involvement of Rulon Gardner, Daniel Cormier, yeah, why not, and King Mo, RPW would only run for 2 seasons. Therefore, it was always going to be a struggle to make this new promotion a success, and without Hogan, it may be impossible. Which, maybe, I mean, it might have been impossible with them too. And that is wrapping that one up. But, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I'm still kind of interested in this RAF to happen. I kind of want to check it out, see what they do. Kind of curious about it, but I don't know. I mean, people have a certain expectation when it comes to like any kind of professional wrestling or anything like that, and it might fall short. Even if Hulk Hogan hadn't passed away and still been involved, it might still have not succeeded. I don't know. Still interested to see though, for sure. Let's move on to another semi wrestling headline. This one's from eWrestling News, also founded on Newsbreak by Christopher Paul. Chris Benoit's WWE theme song gets new life after 23 years. Chris Benoit's name and legacy have been erased from WWE's history books following the tragic murder-suicide that claimed the lives of his wife Nancy and young son Daniel. WWE has stayed away from anything that has to do with the former world heavyweight champion, and Benoit's theme song, Whatever, who was written by Our Lady Peace, has consistently ranked high on the list of greatest WWE themes ever. However, the Canadian rock band Our Lady Peace retired the song following the events that took place in June 2007. Now, after 23 years, the band has released a new redux version of the iconic song. They also released a statement with the song. The band said, "It's been 23 years since the tragic events surrounding WWE wrestler Chris Benoit and the theme song we wrote for him. We feel that enough time has passed that it was necessary to re-record Whatever to help shine a light on suicide prevention and mental health awareness. The original track was recorded for WWE's Forcible Entry compilation album in 2002 and became synonymous with Chris Benoit throughout his WWE career. In 2012, the band stated that they would never perform the song again due to its association with the tragic events surrounding Benoit's death. The band also announced that all revenue from the Redux version via streaming platforms will be donated to suicide prevention initiatives across North America. This has been their effort to transform the song from a source of controversy into a force for positive change. During their 30th anniversary tour, Our Lady Peace performed the live song for the first time in over 2 decades. And honestly, I kind of like what they're doing here. I mean, not kind of, I absolutely like this. 'Cause honestly, in case you guys haven't been listening and you haven't caught on, me and the douche, we are advocates for mental health and suicide prevention, as well as drug abuse. And I like where they're taking this and where they're putting this. I mean, it's so awesome to see a band actually care about, you know, their not only their fans, but just people in general. I mean, this is so nice to fucking see, man. You don't see this very often with performers much these days. I mean, you don't really see this out of anybody nowadays. Usually nobody gives a shit. And this band, Our Lady Peace, is definitely trying to make a difference with their music and the fact that they're willing to just put all proceeds that they make off of this song slash album towards helping people with mental health and suicide awareness. It's fucking amazing. And I've never had anything bad to say about that band. They are pretty good. But this really, really makes me see them in an even better light. So good on you. Good on you. Yeah, I mean, that was a tragic situation with Chris Benoit and his family, and it sucks. We did cover him earlier on in our show. I've always been a fan of his, and it really sucks to know that CTE can really, really affect people that deeply. Moving on to something even fucking sadder, unfortunately, but that's what we do. This one, also found on Newsbreak, comes from Law and Crime, and it was written by Jamie Fravel. Sounds good. I got in my car and smelled death. Family sues funeral homes after receiving a box containing their son's brain. Yeah, that's pretty fucking insane. Wow. Somebody really dropped the ball somehow here. A Pennsylvania couple sued 2 funeral homes entrusted with the care of their son's remains after they said they received a box containing the deceased man's brain. Abby and Lawrence Butler's son, who was 56 years old, Timothy Garlington, had died on November 15th, 2023. Garlington had been living in Georgia at the time of his death, so the Butlers used the services of Southern Cremations and Funerals in Marietta, as well as the Nix and Nix Funeral Home in Philadelphia to help put their son to rest. According to a lawsuit filed in Philadelphia that was reviewed by Law and Crime, the Butlers received a box from Nix and Nix that would uh, that they were told contained his personal effects and belongings. When Lawrence Butler opened a white box, there was another red box inside. While the Butlers were not able to open that box, they noticed that it began to smell and leak fluids inside Lawrence Butler's car. Well, I mean, I can understand getting your loved one's personal effects and belongings, but I'm pretty sure they weren't expecting any kind of body part of any sort. The lawsuit stated that inside the box was Garlington's brain. During a press conference at the Wapner, yeah, that's fine, Newman Law Offices in Center City on Thursday, attorney L. Chris Stewart, whose Atlanta-based firm Stewart Miller Simmons Trial Attorneys is representing the Butlers, along with Samuel Anyon Jr. Yeah, that's good. Of Wapner Newman. They stated that the unmarked white box that was included among Garlington's personal effects was not part of the inventory list the Butlers received. Well, yeah, probably not. Lawrence Butler was emotional as he recalled what happened when he noticed something was wrong in the days following his son's death. He said, "It was and is still in my heart that I got in my car and I smelled death." He added, "We just pray that this doesn't ever happen to anyone else again. And it's just, I had to get rid of the car. I just couldn't stand the idea that the remains were in that car." I mean, that is fucking devastating. It really fucking is. When asked by a reporter about how Garlington's brain became separated from the rest of his body, Stewart said that he spoke with other funeral homes about their procedures and came to the conclusion that there is at no point where the brain is separated from the body in that fashion and shipped in that fashion. And they did show a picture of this red box inside of a white box. And wow, that's pretty fucking crazy. When asked about the discovery of the brain inside the box, Stewart said that when the Butlers went to Nix and Nix to retrieve their son's belongings from the funeral manager, the white box with the red box inside was on the manager's desk. Abby Butler unsuccessfully tried to open the box, not knowing what was inside. The Butlers took their son's belongings, including the box, back to their home, leaving the box in the car. Oh, man, I could only imagine, especially on a hot day. Fuck. Days later, Lawrence Butler started to notice that his vehicle started to smell, and the box was leaking some sort of fluid. Not what you really want out of a box. I mean, it should be airtight. Guys, I'm sorry. That was in poor taste. It really was. Stewart said that he took the box inside the home. According to the lawsuit, Lawrence Butler came into direct contact with his son's brain matter. The couple later learned from the Georgia funeral home, according to Stewart, that the box contained Garlington's brain, and some mistake had been made. Well, no fucking shit. He said the box never should have been given to them. Again, no fucking shit. Stewart said that the box containing the brain was returned to Nix and Nix, according to a reporter at the press conference, and Nix and Nix said that an investigation was being conducted, but Stewart was not aware of one. Wow. Local NBC affiliate WCAU reported that the state board cleared Nix and Nix of wrongdoing, and the Philadelphia-based funeral home was not aware of what was in the box. Okay, that seems kind of unlikely to me, but sure. Stewart stated that the Butlers have not received an apology from either funeral home, nor did they provide an explanation. Wow. Talk about shit on top of shit. These fucking people suck. So, for future reference, guys, do not use Southern Cremations and Funerals or Nick's and Nick's Funeral Home. That's Clayton Kegg saying this, not this article. At any rate, catchphrase. Long Crime reached out to Southern Cremations and Funerals and Nick's and Nick's Funeral Home, but did not receive an immediate response. No shit. The Butlers are suing both funeral homes for negligence and intentional infliction of emotional distress. And I hope they fucking win, which I don't see how they won't. They are seeking punitive and compensatory, Jesus, damages for willful misconduct, malice, and a complete lack of care, dignity, and respect. And again, they should absolutely 100% win this case before it even gets started. I'm not saying they need to settle. I'm just saying they just need to say, you guys win. Whatever the price you want, you fucking got right now. Because that's fucked up. Jesus Christ, man. Again, do not ever use either of those funeral services. Apparently, they don't know what they're doing. And again, that's Clayton Kegg saying this, not the article. Well, let's move on to something a little more lighthearted, possibly. This one's also from Newsbreak. WSB Channel 2 Atlanta by KDKA staff via CNN news source. Headline reads, Man returns to apartment, finds two naked strangers. Wow. Sometimes people would actually wish for something like that. A college student in Pennsylvania is upset after he says he returned to his rented apartment after being away for a month and found two naked strangers living there. He says, I opened the door, I walked in, and everything in the kitchen that was there, that I had there, was no longer there. And there was new pots, there was new pans, there's a candle, says Maverick Krupe. He not only walked into what appeared to be the wrong apartment, Krupe said he found two strangers in the nude inside his Skyview apartment in Oakland last month. Insane. That is fucking insane. And this lady, she's probably like 35 or 40, just naked, walks out and looks at me and starts screaming, Krupe said. Krupe says he was given no notice that his former roommate apparently sublet his room. He says after reviewing his contract, he believed it was in total violation of his rights as a tenant. And in some places that's not even legal to do anyways, so that's kind of fucked up. If you're going to rely on the contract to have me pay you rent every month and utilities and follow whatever addendums you have in there, then you, as the person that made the contract, need to follow it to a T as well, Krupe says. And he's not wrong. A clause in the contract states replacing a resident or subletting is allowed only when expressly given consent in writing. The remaining resident and replacement residents must sign an entirely new lease contract. KDKA investigates learned that the contract Krupe signed was a by the bed lease, meaning while his apartment was a 2-bedroom with a shared living space, he was only renting, paying for the leasing in his room, of his room. Several local attorneys say, therefore, Skyview was not in breach of the contract. And because these were individual separate leases, then that's something where he's not really going to have much of a claim to the breach of the covenant of quiet and enjoyment. Yeah, enjoyment. Wow, that's weird. Just because new tenants were put in there without his prior knowledge or consent, says attorney Daniel Stoner. Oh, Stoner, nice. He said, had Krupe and his former roommate signed a joint lease together, the subletting clause in this contract would have been effective. Well, talk about loopholes, I guess. But even then, Stoner says it comes down to landlord discretion. Now, it is true that the landlord, that's really at their discretion and an option if they want to enforce those clauses or not. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, he said. Several attorneys, KDKA, talked to say most tenant landlord contracts typically are more landlord friendly and weigh in favor to the property owner. Yeah, sadly. Look at your contract. Look at the laws that are in the city. Try to see if you're getting what you're entitled to, Krupe said. At the end of the day, what you are, the bare minimum, hopefully, at least you're getting that. And people are following their contracts, Krupe continued. How can tenants protect themselves from a situation like this? Stoner said, make sure you're reading the understand your contract and don't be afraid to ask questions. I think those are questions that you certainly should be asking, particularly if you are entering into a lease where you're renting out an individual bedroom and you're living in a unit with other people that are renting. Wow. That was not even me. That's exactly how they had it in there. That's what kind of threw me off. At any rate, that was a Stoner's statement that he must have been stoned while speaking. I don't know. If you need help with a contract, he says, contact an attorney or use AI. Why is everybody so on board with AI? I don't know, man. He also suggests just having good communication with your roommates. Yeah, maybe. Even so, Stoner says the landlord could have done a better job making sure this wasn't the surprise that it turned into for Krupe. Frankly, if somebody did get hurt, the landlord could potentially be liable for all this, Stoner said. This could have been easily preventable just by giving the guy a call or sending him a text or email to let him know this is happening. I mean, he's not wrong. Should have fucking let him know. Different states have different laws concerning subletting. Be sure to check out resources online before entering into a sublet arrangement. And that's kind of a good point too. But yeah, that's so crazy to me, and I can't help but ask this question. So his original roommate, he subletted his room to two people that apparently like to just run around naked. Is this other guy also running around naked with these two people? So is there technically like three naked people running around this house? I'm just curious. Maybe that's why he subletted it. He's like, oh, this guy never wants to get naked with me. I don't know. I don't know. It's fucking weird. I have no fucking idea. And you know what, guys? I know this is gonna be a short one, but again, it's a solo episode, really. So I do want to just go ahead and let's get into the douche of the week here. And I don't have that sound with me, but yeah, this is gonna be the douche of the week for sure. All right, guys. Yeah, I had a little technical difficulty there, but yes, working on the douche of the week right now. This one also from Newsbreak, and it's from Mediate, and it was written by Sarah Rumpf. Nice. The headline reads, Who Ratted? Chuck E. Cheese mascot dragged out of Florida pizzeria in cuffs, accused of stealing customers' credit cards. Wow, that's talk about a rat. A Chuck E. Cheese employee in Tallahassee, Florida, dressed as the chain's namesake rodent, Charles Entertainment, or Chuck E. Cheese, was arrested for multiple credit card felonies on Thursday. And yes, there is a video apparently, which I did not know until just now by reading that. I don't know how I did because I read this article. Wow, must have missed that part. According to a report by Ariana Otero For the Tallahassee Democrat, the man was working his shift at the pizzeria arcade when Tallahassee Police Department officers arrived with an arrest warrant for him. The cops put the mascot mouse in handcuffs and took him outside to their vehicle. Doesn't say whether they beat him, but hey, they might have. Where he was unceremoniously stripped of his costume head and put into the car. Oh, there is a video. I almost want to watch it now. That's fucking hilarious. The arrest was confirmed by TPD spokesperson Jerome Maples, who told the Democrat that the man had been arrested for 3 felonies. Leon County Clerk records list 3 felonies: theft of credit card, criminal use of personal identification information, and fraudulent use of a credit over 2 times within 6 months. Wow. I am. The Democrat reached out to the Chuck E. Cheese location for comment. It's unfortunate that it happened here, said an employee who declined further comment, insisting that the Wayward Mouse's arrest had no connection to the Chuck E. Cheese company. Well, yeah, of course they're going to fucking turn that around and say, hey, we didn't do it, he did. DMC identified the rogue rodent as Jarmel J. Jones and reported that the arrest occurred right in the middle of a children's birthday party in progress. Wow. Jones was booked at the Leon County Jail and released Thursday morning on a $1,000 bond. The Democrat later updated the article to report that the arrest stemmed from a July 3rd call to the police about a stolen credit card. According to TPD spokesperson Alicia Hill, officers met the victim in the parking lot of the Chuck E. Cheese on the north side of town, Tallahassee's only location for the chain. The victim told police her family had a party at Chuck E. Cheese location in June, and she noticed roughly 100 of unauthorized charges on her credit card from places where she had not visited or did not shop, said Hill, adding that the fraudulent credit card charges were reportedly traced to an employee who was checking stamps at the front door when police first identified him. When TPD officers returned with the arrest warrant, another employee told them their suspect was now wearing the Chuck E. Cheese costume, said Hill. Officers initially tried to escort him quietly from the premises, but the suspect's actions made them change tactics. They walked over with the intentions of just walking outside to put handcuffs on him outside of public view, Hill told the Democrat. According to police reports, one officer, while grabbing the employee, even referred to him as the character himself. Chucky, come on with me, Chucky. But when they approached him, he immediately tensed up and resisted. And so at this point, they make the decision to put him in handcuffs, keeping in mind the safety of not only the customers, but the suspect, as well as the officers themselves, Hill continued. She said TPD doesn't have a specific policy on when arrests are appropriate in public, and the agency relies on officer discretion based on the safety of others and ensuring a suspect can't destroy evidence. It is unfortunate that the person who is subject of this investigation and who we had probable cause on happened to be in a suit and in costume, she said, adding that officers found the stolen credit card in his possession. The news of the mischievous mouse sparked numerous social media posts as Tallahassee locals shared photos and video of the arrest, and other accounts soon picked up the story. A sampling of posts is below. Meanwhile, and this is one of the posts, meanwhile, in Florida's capital, they've arrested Chuck E. Cheese. Seriously. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. They even got a picture of me walked out the door in handcuffs. You know what? I'm gonna go up to. Oh wait, right? Yeah, yeah, okay. Here's a video. I'm gonna play it. I don't know if it'll come through, but I'm gonna play it anyways. Oh, they're removing the head. Yep, yep. Traumatized kids inside watching this outside the window. Oh man. The fact that they got this classical music in the background is fucking hilarious. Oh man. Oh, so there you have it. That's the douche of the week. Fucking good old Chuck E. Cheese. Oh man. Yep. So hey, Jarmel J. Jones, you are the douche of the week. And hopefully he's not still employed with Chuck E. Cheese after this. I don't see how he would be. And he's probably going to have a hard time getting work after this one. For sure. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it. It's going to be a short episode, but hey, I mean, we ran through some headlines a little faster than even I thought I would. And hey, next week should be back in the studio, and we should be, putting out better content than this one. That's for sure, guys. All right. We out.